WardiTV, I figured instead of both me and TaeJa casting the same thing at the same time live, I take the replays and cast them in a European-friendly time zone. So if you guys couldn't watch it live, you can watch it now instead and enjoy the games. Enjoy the games with me, because I want to cast it too. And this sort of, well, I thought I'd try it out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. We'll change up our minds and stuff like this. The big thing I want to say before we get this started, though, is that first of all, I've forgotten to put the fucking logo on. God damn it, I suck. Boom. That didn't work. Huh. How didn't that work? There we go. Boom. No, go on. Oh, shut up. There we go. This is this team league's powered by Crank. So if you guys know Crank, you should definitely go and show him some love. He's the reason this team league is happening. And any basically love you give Crank for the team league will help make more of these events happen in the future. So do check that out. That's Crank that's been putting on this event. Alright, top left hand side, our red pro display here on Parasite is PartinG. And he is going up against the orange Protoss to the bottom right hand side. It is Classic. So again, the two teams here today, Classic, Trap, and Cure versus PartinG, TaeJa, and PartinG, TaeJa, and FanTaSy. Some fun teams, and all the teams are kind of fun. We also have some of the other teams that we're not going to see today. Solendis and Bugs is Stats, Dark, and Solar. Beyond and the Kids is Beyond, Gumiho, and Patience. And Innovation one-man team is Innovation, backed up by Sue and Zest. So it's a pretty fun set of teams that are going to be playing. This is a double elimination bracket, and basically you play 2 matches. Well, you lose 2 matches, boom, you're out. It goes through to a grand final. And the prize money is, I think, it's about $2,000 for first place. Second place team will take home $900. Third place team $450. Fourth place about $200. 5th to 6th will take home about $90 each. And the 7th place team, because there's only 7 teams, will take home a whopping $27. So they might be able to just about get a, the start of a group meal out of that one, or they can, they can go get like a McDonald's together. Like, thanks for showing up, guys. Here's a McDonald's. Have fun. Have a fun team night out. So prize money goes all the way down, and again, that's all supported and powered by Crank. So do show Crank some love on that one. Anyways, we are kicking this off, and a couple Stalkers on the way up here from PartinG already. Going to be his choice to kind of follow up his Stalker Sentry. So it is all about Stalkers and Sentries, and that generally does point to an expansion here from PartinG. Whereas on the other side of things, Classic, well, he comes in with a couple of these Adepts, and they are coming across to try and see just what they're going to get up to. So the Adepts are going to come up in towards the main base. We will see a pylon dropping down, and those couple of Adepts will be blocked. So Adepts blocked for the moment, as we do now have the shield battery coming down in the main base mineral line. A couple of extra sentries on the way up. So this is really all of the gas going into sentries here from PartinG, and really just looking to stay very safe on this expansion. Have the hallucinations to scout with, have the ability to force field if required. Very late tech from him, because all of this gas has gone into sentries rather than other places, as Classic does get by with 2 Adepts, and there's a force field to try and deflect, but these Adepts will already pick up good damage with this. And in fact, those sentries kind of, well, start to run out of force fields here in the end, and that's 3 force fields now to not even kill these Adepts, just to try and slow down what they can do here. And at the end of the day, I mean, will they get any more damage done? No is the answer, but 3 workers killed, you force a bunch of force fields, and now 4 more Adepts show up. Doesn't really look too pretty for you, does it? That probe is a little bit blocked from being able to build a shield battery, perhaps. We'll be able to get there now. No! He lets more Adepts in, PartinG, making another mistake here. Well, this time the force field comes down pretty quickly. We will see the sentries, though, targeted by the Adepts, and that's still great pickoffs for the sentries. And this sentry is tucked in a corner, but it's protected by a shield battery, and so the sentry will stay alive. Well, Classic gives up a lot of these Adepts, but does some good damage with them. I mean, getting rid of the sentries, that really means that all of that gas investment early in the game is somewhat wasted. That 1 sentry survived, but didn't have much energy left, so has to rebuild that again, as we're going to be seeing a few more Stalkers building up on the natural. Again, Forger Twilight Council coming down here from Classic, so just getting himself continuing to tech up at this stage, as he had the slightly faster robo to begin with. I think in general, PartinG is quite naturally going to be trailing here, right? He was a bit behind on the robo, of course. He's now going to throw down Forge. He's the player that's taking damage, and he trails by 6 workers at the moment. As we are going to be seeing the Prism just going to be on the way up here in Classic back at home, so just going to be getting that Prism on the way through as the hallucination comes out from Classic, trying to keep up to date with what's going on from PartinG. See what decisions he's going to be making. I mean, it's that stage of the game where PartinG is potentially going to decide, well, crap, I'm a little bit behind. Am I going to do something crazy, add on a ton of gates, or am I just going to play a little bit of catch-up here? Well, those Adepts get into the main, and, well, they'll scout straight away, and it might be blocked in. That Zealot might be able to hold the line. It might be a loss of 2 Adepts, but it's really good information. Sees the Robo, sees the Forge, didn't see the Twilight Council starting, but gets a good idea that this is not just a ton of gateways. This is indeed a macro-focused setup, as we'll see 2 more Adepts are going to be coming across the map with these with this Warp Prism. So that's coming up to the top side of the map. We are going to be seeing them getting ready to drop down behind the mineral line or so. It feels like Temple Archives from Classic dropping down as well in the main base. Also going to be seeing Charge on its way up. So all of these expected upgrades coming through from Classic at the moment, whereas PartinG, well, I mean, he's kind of on this similar sort of way, right? Just a little bit behind in every way, shape, and form. +1's behind. He actually goes Glaive, so that's going to be PartinG's maybe way to come back into this. An aggressive Glaive's attack can definitely get a lot done. Adepts will sync up and fire their shots at the same time to minimize any power from the shield battery here in the main base. At the same time, there's also Adepts in the natural, so PartinG is once again finding himself pulling away from those Adepts. He is on the run, and we do see some good damage being dealt here as Classic is eventually going to be cleaned up, sure, but I mean, he's done some good damage along the way. Eventually we'll get back on track of killing some of these probes. I mean, it's 11 workers, which is actually pretty significant. That puts Classic now at a 14 worker lead. Well, PartinG, all he's going to go for is that Warp Prism, a Glaive upgrade finishing, and boom. He's going to go across the map and try and end this here with a Mortal Adept. Does he have enough to do that? I don't think so. I think he's already lost a little bit too much. I think he's already just a little bit too far behind. I don't think there's really a way to make this happen here now, as we see another couple of Adepts just warping in. So all of these units gathering up together. There are the 2 Immortals coming in towards the upper side of the map. It's going to be seeing the harassment from Classic is just absolutely non-stop. Needs to be a little careful though. Looks as though this Observer of PartinG caught sight of that, and by seeing the Immortals, or the Prism at least, coming across, means he'll try and snipe it. But that said, if Classic responds quick enough, and there is no blink here, oh, if you could just drop the Immortals, then they could maybe have fought this, but wow, it's actually the Prism going down, and 2 Immortals going to die, so Classic runs right into a trap here, and while being alive is trying to do even more damage, and while trying to do even more damage, has now found himself in a very, very difficult position. Adepts, Stalkers, Immortals, a Sentry or 2, all coming down to the south side of the map. Classic going to be setting up here on the front of the natural. Again, that Observer, MVP so far from PartinG, saw that Warp Prism coming onto the map, knew where to position the Stalkers, as we do see a Probe taking a little bit of damage on the side there. We are going to be seeing the units continue to kind of just poke around, and PartinG going to try and push forwards here in the next few moments. It's coming over to the 3rd base now as PartinG is going to be able to take this down. Obviously, Classic can kind of afford to kind of give this up just a little bit because he, his opponent's only on 1 base or 2 bases himself, so no need to be up a base at the moment, as we do see the Prism going to come around the right side. Classic starting to move out a little bit. I do like Classic's army over time here. Charge against Glaives, +2 against +1. It definitely feels like over time this is all about Classic, and that Prism going across the map could be pretty deadly as well. 2 Archons and then a big warping of Zealots off of the 6 gateways, or the 8 gateways even for Classic. It's a fantastic way to go about things. The Adepts will drop into the main, but not target firing, means that some of these probes being kept alive longer than they should, but there is that big warping of Zealots across the map. It's going to be a recall home, so looks like the Archons will just get picked up. There actually wasn't a warping of Zealots, it's a warping of Adepts. I'm struggling with the colors being red and orange just a little bit here as well, guys. Apologies, not much I can do about it. Obviously we're casting replays, so Disruptor coming up on the main base, and we are going to be seeing a second Robo on the way at the moment on the natural. Apparently I keep pressing buttons and going into players' vision, so we get to listen to their announcer packs, and I'm like, huh? What? What was that? What was that? Hallucinated Phoenix heading in toward the upper left-hand side. This Observer is coming out back in towards the center as well. And it looks as though PartinG's just, in general, backing away. Just that Prism left across here. At the end of the day, Classic and PartinG are now 2 bases apiece. The worker counts are dead even, 32 to 33. But Classic has a +2 versus +1 upgrade lead. Classic has got 20 Zealots to 1, and obviously that's because it's 23 Adepts from PartinG, but I do feel that over time here, Zealots are going to be so much more valuable than Adepts are. Now, there are Disruptors in the army of PartinG, and they can definitely get a lot done. And as you see the Stargate being added on here by Classic, he will be able to head in towards Phoenix, aiming to lift up those Disruptors as they fire to cancel their Purification Novas and essentially nullify them in the fight. Let's see if this is going to happen. As we do see Adepts, Stalkers, Disruptors, all coming down this left-hand side here for the moment. Classic still just out in the center. Disruptor shot fires and picks up just a couple of Zealots for the first few seconds of this now. Second Disruptor shot comes in and isn't still quite going to be able to get the connection just there. Let's go see the Zealots and Archons maybe thinking about trying to take down those rocks. Pushing forwards once more. We do have, well, PartinG still just trying to scare with those Disruptors, but the more time he obviously gives to Classic, the more Phoenix that come up here, and the more potential there is for Classic to just shut down that Disruptor play without really taking any damage at all. There's a flank set up as well now, and so looking to come in from two different angles. That's going to obviously confuse the Disruptors as where is best to hit. Turns out everything will come in from one direction in the end here, as we will see the Zealots a little bit clogged up, though. Disruptor shots, well, not really doing much. Disruptors starting to go down. Finally, the Zealots start to filter through. The Archons will do massive work against the Adepts here. 3 of them still alive, 2 Mauls chunking away as well. In fact, 4 Archons alive, really putting in the work. As another Phoenix shows up, that's another Disruptor live. It's a convincing fight out of Classic, and he'll take map 1 for his team over PartinG and Group Assignment, the team he's playing against in this Team League format. Boom, alright, Classic. Gonna be taking game number 1. And we're going to jump into game number 2 pretty much right away here, guys. Coming up next is Trap versus FanTaSy. So again, the first 3 matches are pre-set. It's Cure versus PartinG, which we just saw. No, not Cure versus PartinG. Classic versus PartinG. Goes the way of Classic. Takes a 1-0 lead for his team. Up next in the best of 7, it's Trap versus FanTaSy. Then Cure versus TaeJa. Then we have a 2 versus 2. And then we have, after the 2 versus 2, we're going to have the all-kill section. And who can play in the all-kill depends thoroughly on who, whoever wins the, whoever basically, it's weird, but like, I'm going to try and explain this well. So if you win your Pro League style match, so these first 3 matches, you are allowed to stay alive in the all-kill section. You can be used during the all-kill mode. If you win the 2v2, your team gets a revive for the all-kill mode. So if you're down 0-3 going into the 2v2, you don't actually have any players for the all-kill. But if you win the 2v2 and make it 1-3, then you can revive 1 player, and that's your 1 player remaining for the all-kill. It's actually kind of clever. It's really clever, actually. It's a really cool little format, really well thought out. Actually, it's really sick, because it basically means that if you know, the more players you lose in the groups in the first section, the less of it, the less players you have available for the last section. But it basically means you only have as many players available as the opposing team needs to win the series, anyways. So it's pretty funky. I like it. Again, hopefully you'll be able to describe it maybe just a little bit better and a little bit later on once you guys get an idea of how things are going, as I just get it kind of better in my head as well. This is my first time casting this, so I'm just a little bit all over at the moment, not gonna lie. Top left-hand side, our purple Protoss player is Trap. And to the bottom right-hand side, our blue Terran from Dead Pixels, it's FanTaSy. He represents Dead Pixels, but of course today he is representing the team Group Assignment, who are down 0-1 in this best of 7, as Kim Do-seong-ho is currently leading the series. Titan 16, if you want to be a complete fucking idiot, you can never come back to the channel again. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. We've literally been saying all day we're casting replays. Do you think that by saying that it's live, that you're blowing some people's minds? Jesus Christ. Do you ever? I really worry about like the human population that there's some people are just so stupid and we support them and that they get by in the world. How can that happen? It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, game number 2, guys, just getting this set up and looking to see how things are going to be going here in the next near future. Did you miss the... oh, sorry, this isn't PartinG, guys. I have PartinG text overlaid. Apologies, it's Trap here, the Purple Poros player this time around. Did you miss the TaeJa game? No, TaeJa going to be playing against QCL after this TVP, actually. Yeah, sorry guys, just had the PartinG name overlaid, which is obviously a little bit of a mistake, so apologies for that. As we do see the factory on the way up right now from FanTaSy, so getting that going in the main base. So FanTaSy getting his factory up in the main, Command Center dropping down on the natural, and you will see the Reaper heading over to the left-hand side with an SCV coming out the front, chased in by a probe. Just going to be seeing that Reaper is going to be able to come forwards, picks that probe off, nicely done there so far. As we do have the Twilight Council now from Trap being set up as well, so Twilight Council getting ready to roll here. As we have the Nexus dropping down from Trap also. So Nexus dropping down from Trap in the natural expansion, as we do see in depth coming out over to the left-hand side of the map. So Trap heading on over to the left here, as we still have that Reaper just moving around, looking to see what's up, looking to see what is happening. It's just chilling out the front of the natural, trying to find a way in. Acid Plant is difficult because the main base is completely separate from the low ground, so there's no way to jump up into this main along the side. Obviously, you can jump up over here, but for that, you still have to break into the natural, which is obviously the big issue. That's where the Reaper is going to be limited in how much it can get done. Now, we do see the starport proxied on the map, something which Trap did not see, but he has seen a couple of Hellions, so it's always going to be something he's got to be somewhat aware of, the potential of a Hellion base drop. Two Hellions coming forwards here to try and fight those at depth. One of them shades backwards, as we do see this fight will just continue. Nothing too crazy at all here to begin with, in all honesty, as we do have that Blink upgrade starting up from Trap at the moment on the top side. So Blink on the way through here currently, as we do see a couple of SCVs just continue to pop out from FanTaSy, just starting to saturate up his natural expansion. Supply depot drops down behind this mineral line as well. And we do see the Reaper finally going down. The Hellions joined up in better numbers now, but man, those depths just do so much damage to the Hellions, and that's going to be one of them dead right away there. As a follow-up to this, it's 2 Cyclones. I feel like you don't usually see the Cyclones when you go for like a 4 Hellion drop like this. Is this going to be a fake from FanTaSy? He's going to send the Medevac into the main, pull all of the units out of position, and guess where the Hellions are? They're still in the natural, baby! But unfortunately, the Adepts are still here too, and the Wall-Off is very good to protect Trap's mineral line, but he stacks everything up as the Hellions start to get in. Oh, in the end, it's going to be just 2 workers killed, but that got so dangerous, so scary. Good save in the end by Trap, taking all of that down. Nicely done. Now, Robo Facility is about halfway up here from Trap, so Robo's about halfway done. Liberator on the way out of that proxied starport as well. We do see the Medevac is now going to team up with some of the Cyclones, and obviously a Cyclone drop is always very annoying because, well, just being able to micro those very powerful units is going to put you into a little bit of a tough position. So Medevac with 2 Cyclones inside, coming up the top, and Adept shading out over toward the left-hand side. This Liberator of FanTaSy is going to be getting ready to siege up in the next few moments. It feels like a few Stalkers off to the left-hand side of the main. Robo, Chrono boosting out and observe that. Liberator is hidden all the way in the top left-hand side of the map. All the way up in the top left. Cyclones will drop down, but the Blink forward gets the Medevac as the Cyclones load up here, and that is Trap shutting down that attack in FanTaSy. Well, that's gonna sting just a little bit for him here, as we are going to be seeing a couple of these refineries continuing to come down now. Warp Prism on the way out as well from Trap, so getting that ready to go. There's that Robo Bay also going to be finishing up in the near future. So the next stage of this from Trap continuing to come along nicely as FanTaSy. Well, double engineering bay. He has got a 3rd CC, so he will be going up to the triple base here, rather than looking to just play this on 2 base. In fact, a very fast 3 CC. Extra barracks not even finished up yet, so 3 CC, then the 5 racks. Means that it really is about economy this game, FanTaSy, and you can kind of see it. 48 workers to 48. I mean, as a Protoss player, you're usually looking to be about 6 to 7 workers ahead, so only being, being dead even, that's definitely pretty good for the Terran player, who now does have Triple Mule on their side as well. There's obviously another big benefit. Stalker's blinking up into the main base via the Observer, but a tank well positioned. Stalker's going to recall to minimize losses, and Trap going to be kind of happy for that, as obviously FanTaSy comes in, sees those Stalkers aren't there anymore, and he does know there's an Observer somewhere here, and it wasn't pulled back. A little bit lazy by Trap. A nice scan by FanTaSy to take that down. Nicely done. We see Gravitic Drive currently being built up on the Robo Bay here. Going to be seeing a couple of Disruptors also currently on the way out. So a couple of Disruptors coming through. And you see one of them down to the low ground, the second one on its way down to the low ground. And well, the Stalkers just move forwards. A couple of Marines getting picked off right here. Man, I was actually kind of feeling Colossus for Trap this game, but Disruptors it is, and he already has one of them in a Prism, which is about to have Warp Prism speed. The ability to move around very quickly, the ability to, well, just attack all over the place is obviously very deadly, and looking for a big Disruptor shot to start with here. One Marine tries to sacrifice itself. Unfortunately, there is a group of Marines that go down, but the tank got the kill on the Disruptor in the meanwhile, so maybe in the end not even worthwhile for Trap. He does get pushed away, as he does pick up the Liberator kill. So Liberator that was just harassing around gets taken down and tries to come back home. And we are going to be seeing more Stalkers gathering together. Disruptors coming out 2 at a time. Just going to see that Prism coming all the way over to the far right. And so we are going to be having a couple of Widow Mines burrowing up from FanTaSy. And Widow Mines always interesting when Disruptors are in play, because Disruptors, I mean, it's one Disruptor shot and boom, those Widow Mines are dealt with. As we're going to see, well, Blink's on cooldown, right? I'm not sure what Trap was thinking there. Not sure if he realized they were there or if he just wasn't paying attention for a moment. But a bit of a shame, as we are going to see this Medevac dropping down. Wants to throw some Disruptors in towards this army of FanTaSy, I'm sure. And there you go, a tank getting picked off. I mean, that's the point of investing into Gravitic Drive, given that Protoss Warp Prism, the speed allows it to move around the map very easily, allows it to move around and pick up a lot of damage. Just going to be seeing, not sure what that was, I think just a single unit coming forwards here from Trap. Does get taken down, though, there's a couple of Immortals being Chrono Boosted out now as well, so trying to buffer up his army from these Disruptors, just something that can really kind of stand on its own and deal damage throughout a fight, rather than being that one Hail Mary unit. So really pushing in towards that here. As +2 comes up for him, Templar Archives comes up for him, and Trap going to be, well, Chrono Boosting out that Immortal as well, getting that towards the front here in the next few moments. Biostims in, Disruptor shots are good to pick up a Widow Mine and a couple of Marines. And again, nice stuff by Trap, and he will be pushed away, but it's good moves by FanTaSy. And coming in with his first real kind of drop of the game, it feels like, moving around the right-hand side, has found himself well engaging with this Protoss army, but will not be able to keep up over here, as these units will back away down the right side, and FanTaSy will be off down and away. A little bit of bio from FanTaSy off over to the left side of the map now. So coming on over to the left-hand side, we do see 2 pylons of Trap going to be in maybe a little bit of trouble here in the very near future. One probe goes down already. We're going to be seeing both of these pylons on the left getting taken down. Nicely done there, as we do have the Disruptors just watching a Marine run by. The Marauders obviously think, well, if you're not paying attention, perhaps I can pick up on that. The reality is Trap was watching, just didn't want to use his Disruptors on a singular Marine. Again, +2 attack, finishing up shortly here for Trap. Warp Prism just popped out of the Robo. And just, that's going to be double Prism now, actually, which is also interesting. I wonder how he uses it. He's been using one of them for the Disruptors pretty much constantly. Does he now use one to kind of counter-attack with Warp-ins, or does he just have one with the army to Warp in during a fight? It's actually going to be Immortals that are loading up into these Prisms. Huh, how interesting. I don't really have an answer for that one just yet, guys, unless he just wants to get into the back lines and pick off the siege tanks with the Immortals. I really don't know. Does he go across the map and Immortal harass? I mean, he really decided at some point to stop building Disruptors and start building Immortals. So to then just lift them up into War Prisms and to move them across the map seems absolutely bonkers to me. But hey, I guess we'll see how it works out. It looks as though it's not going to separate from the main army, though. Looks as though Trap going to bring this back, as we do see FanTaSy stimming in on the left-hand side. Nexus being targeted down. The Immortals going to start unloading. Well, Nexus does fall. The Marauders taking a little bit of damage as well. Widow Mines start to go off on the Stalkers and the Zealots. I mean, they get cleaned up. And now an attack on the right-hand side. Disruptors being found. That's a lot of Disruptors. In fact, all the Disruptors going down here. Not just all the Disruptors on this part of the army, but I think all the Disruptors in the game. Nexus will be targeted here. The recall comes in, and the recall will be good, but obviously some Widow Mines here already. Warp Prisms come in from this. The Immortals dropping down, but now it's an attack on the left-hand side. The 4th base being built will be denied, and that's a cancel right there by FanTaSy. He strikes to the right, strikes at the left, and does some fantastic damage here to slow Trap down in the PVT. Game 2 of this best of 7, and it is Trap trying to hold the lead for his team, as FanTaSy down a game, looking to try and tie things up, not letting them fall too far behind in the best of 7. Disruptor on the way out of this robo facility, going to be heading in towards the main base shortly here as we see the bio unloading, and probes are already dropping. Look at this, the probes are just disappearing at the moment. So probes going down very quickly. We see 17 of them being picked off. The Templar Archives falls as well. Disruptor shot does not hit anything, and we are going to be seeing the Stalkers continue to blink around the right hand side, and the bio forces from FanTaSy continue to run down to the bottom as well. Zealot's going to be going away and fighting here in the main base, and we are going to be seeing the well, more Zealots actually warping in. So FanTaSy in a little bit of trouble here. I kind of thought he was doing okay against this attack, but the extra warp in is huge. Just in case one prism isn't enough, by the way, triple warp prism is just flying around here. I mean, I don't even know why there's 3 prisms on the map. Meanwhile, though, FanTaSy, this drop comes back into the main. This attack hits the third base as well. That third is so low, he'd love to just get rid of it here as the Stalkers blink back, trying to get the Medivacs. Main base Nexus should surely go down here. There's no way to defend. Recall is still on cooldown. That main base Nexus will fall. 14 probes have gone down here as we see the pylon gets picked off as well. Assimilator is continuing to drop, getting very, very low. Stalkers now blinking back just a little bit, as we'll see those Stalkers blinking forwards there, and one of the Medivacs gets taken down. Bio here from FanTaSy. Ooh, has to be a little bit careful, because you see Trap picking up quite a few kills right away to the right hand side of the map. You can see this bio running around as well. All of this from FanTaSy coming back down to the south. +3 attack, +3 armor. All of this coming through. Scan drops on the army. Disruptors, Immortals, and Stalkers scouted out. And you see a few more High Templar just warping in off to the side. We'll see an Archon warping in from that there, as we do have still this little bit of bio wants to push forwards and, well, start to get rid of this Nexus. I mean, it's been a long time coming, but finally this Nexus will go down, as we do see FanTaSy doing a very good job at the moment of, well, just keeping Trap low on economy. 68 SCVs to 31 probes. And it's every little loss right now that puts Trap even further behind in this game number 2 of our first best of 7 here today from the QCL Power Overwhelming Team League by QrankTV. See a lot more bio pushing out from FanTaSy's 200 supply to 110.20. It's an 80 supply difference at the moment, as we see Vikings find one of the prisons. Well, joke's on you, buddy, I got 2 more! Who cares if you pick off one of them? It's actually kind of funny how many prisms there are in this game. A little bit of bio will stim forwards here. I'd love to see him targeting down that single High Templar. It really feels like a waste not to, because, I mean, I know it doesn't have Storm or anything just yet, but it's an easy pick-off. Feedbacks now in Medivacs, so it gets some value, whereas before, they wouldn't have gotten anything. The Stalkers blink into a Widowmine as they go for those Liberators. The main army just backing away to the left, and FanTaSy playing scared here. Backing all the way away despite an armor upgrade lead, despite what should be, for the most part, a massive lead. Prism over here will not be able to save that Archon, as their Medivacs got drained of energy by a feedback. That's why the Archon came into play. The High Templar were there, they were feedbacked, tried to morph the Archon, but the Archon died. Ooh, are we going to base trade this here? Well, maybe. Disruptor's starting to push forward. Big Disruptor shots coming through, and FanTaSy will have to get into defensive mode now. Sieges up these Liberators allows him to hold the main base, perhaps, as he's already got some units towards the main. He'll know about this Disruptor here. If he could land the Vikings and get rid of this Disruptor before it threatens any of the bio, well, that would be absolutely fantastic. And even if he could fight the next Disruptor that pops out too, that would be really great and really vital, I feel, in this. The third base of the Terran player goes down across the map. Our bio still stimming forwards here. That command, that robo facility does finish. The Disruptor goes down without doing anything. Okay, well, at the moment, we have to see Trap making some big plays still. He's still got bases to kill off his opponent. And this is an orbital to the right side as well, so that's probably going to go down. But look how much bio's over here. Reinforcements of FanTaSy have been pouring out, as he's just had so strong of an economy throughout this game. Whereas Trap is supply blocked. Obviously, his production got shut down right away. All Trap's done is kill off a command center, which is great, don't get me wrong. But it's not going to stop FanTaSy rebuilding. It's not going to stop the fact that FanTaSy already has a huge army advantage in this game. It's going to be seeing the Forge going down. Pylon gets picked off as well. It's going to be seeing the rest of this army from Trap coming back towards this Nexus here in the center. FanTaSy coming around the left. Vikings on the high ground. Going to drop down here. Obviously, Trap's kind of restrained to one base at the moment. I mean, it's tough for him because what is the right decision? I feel like splitting your army up, well, it's just not going to be enough because you need everything you have to fight this army of the Terran, especially when you look at what FanTaSy has pouring out of the main base. So much bio. Going to get ready to fight here. Stalker's blinking forward is going to get rid of a few of these Vikings. So a few Vikings going down, and well, there's the disruptors that obviously you get rid of those, and this game becomes a lot easier to end because it's the miracle shots. The disruptors can definitely extend games, as we do see, though that's going to be a bit too much. GG is called, and FanTaSy picks up game 2, and that's going to be tied 1-1 in this best of 7. So we're tied up 1-1 in this best of 7, guys, and coming up next is a matchup that I'm sure a lot of you are ready for. A player who you've all been missing. I have most definitely been missing him over the last few years. I had never really got much of a chance to cast this guy because he retired before I really started doing a lot of Korean tournaments and casting and stuff and things of the sort. So coming up next, guys, is TaeJa. He's going to be taking on Q in the next best of 1, and then we have that 2 versus 2 matchup as well. So it's going to be Q versus TaeJa, then the 2v2, and then we'll see what we're looking like because we're definitely going to get into some of the all-kill matches today. So far, Classic is alive for the all-kill stage, so is FanTaSy. Unfortunately, well, PartinG and Trap are eliminated, but again, the team who wins the 2v2 gets a revive on one of their players. So, we're going to be back in a few moments' time, guys. Up next is TaeJa versus Q in this Best of 7 All-Kill series from the Power Overwhelming Team League by Crank. Alright, guys, how are we doing? Thank you for tuning in. The TaeJa Q matchup is beginning in just a few moments. Just as I got your attention here and we get ready to continue our matches, of course, shout out to our sponsors, Movement Watches, this little watch that's on my wrist. I'm just going to do it from over here and then try and get close. I'm never going to perfect this, I feel like. Movement Watches are one of very successful sponsors of the stream at the moment. If you guys are interested in a watch, they also do some glasses and stuff. All Movement products are 15% off if you go through my link with an exclamation mark MVMT in the chat. Go through that link, everything's 15% off. You get free worldwide shipping, and every single purchase will directly support the stream. So if you're looking for maybe getting some Christmas shopping done early, fancy yourself a watch, or you just want to support the stream and get a little bit more out of it than usual, do check it out, exclamation mark MVMT. With that said, though, guys, let's jump on into TaeJa versus Q. God, I really just don't even think about the last time I even casted TaeJa, if I've even casted him in my life. It's crazy. Well, to the bottom left-hand side, we're starting off with our purple Terran player. This, my friends, is indeed Q. And to the top right-hand side, our yellow Terran player is TaeJa. Game 3 of this best of 7. Oh my god, I have 140 FPS. What the hell have I done? Don't know how I managed that. Huh. My FPS has been so shitty for the last couple months. Huh. Ha! Ha! How about that, eh, guys? But, yeah, how's everyone doing out in the chat? How are we all feeling today? Let me know what's up as Q is opening up with the proxy racks. Are you annoyed at Q for trying to cheese your old favorite veteran of StarCraft 2, TaeJa? Let me know. Let me know what you're feeling, guys. Let me know how your weekends were. Let me know if you're watching the Clash Invitational offline finals this weekend that me and Rotty were casting. Had a lot of fun in Italy with the boys this weekend. A very chilled out event. A lot of fun. Played a lot of table tennis with the other guys that were there. Played some pinball. Watched Cyril get really mad at pinball, which was a lot of fun. Watched Cyril get really mad at losing Mario Kart, which was a lot of fun. My favorite part must have been when Cyril came in on the second day and he was like, "Hey guys," and Lambo said something about Mario Kart, and Cyril said, "You will not beat me next time we play because I have just practiced 23 maps against the AI. They will not beat me now." It was like, damn, son. He was even counting how many maps he practiced in Mario Kart. He's not gonna lose. Cyril doesn't really get what losing is, I guess. Anyways, a couple of Reapers going to be popping up in a few moments' time as we are going to be seeing this Proxy Rax Reaper play coming into action. Double Rax Reaper generally transitions with a factory back at home, and so it means that you're generally looking to pick off a couple of STVs and stay solid and just kind of getting a little bit of an eco lead. It is weird because you will fall behind on the tech structures. Your factory will be a lot later because you're pumping out 2 Reapers at a time, which is 100 gas every, what, 46 seconds for Reaper build time? 32 seconds. What the heck? What is it that builds 46 seconds? Something builds in 46 seconds. was going to say, 46 seconds for Reaper is a bit ridiculous, though. Was 46 seconds the old build time for Reaper? For some reason, I really have 46 in my head. Like, before they changed it in Legacy of the Void. Huh. Anyways, it's 32 for now. Must have been 39-ish, actually, I guess. Anyways, the important part of this is, every 32 seconds, it's 100 gas down the drain. As we are going to be seeing the Hellion and the Reaper coming up here. It's not a lot of pressure in the end from Kyo. Already lifts up one of the barracks. Just a few Reapers early on. And that's because he does have the factory coming in at home. You know, he probably feels kind of like, okay, well, I've definitely slowed down your build a little bit. But TaeJa will still be the first to maybe get into an expansion. He actually proxied the starport across the map. So it's a Liberator response from TaeJa. Now, this is very powerful because, well, the Cyclone will come up. But even a Cyclone locked onto a Liberator takes a lot of time to get the kill. Just going to have to be a little bit cautious about that, as we do see the Liberator just about halfway done at the moment. Starport coming up now from Q in the main base. As we see that barracks is being picked away at. Cyclone and a couple of Marines being nibbled at for the moment. And again, just picking their way through this here, as we do see those Reapers of Q also moving around to try and see what's up, trying to see just what is happening. Hellion shot. Gets a little bit of damage on a couple of those Reapers there. Grenade pops the Cyclone forwards a little bit, actually, and again brings one of those Reapers low. Command center on the way up on each side of the map as we see that Liberator is siege. And just look at the mining times to 9. Look how long this Cyclone takes to kill the Liberator. 3 sieges forwards just to make sure these SCVs will not get back to mine anytime soon. It's a huge amount of mining denial, and that's why the Liberator is so powerful. What? What? Cyclone? Did he just run out of shots? What? Did Cyclone stop firing after a while? Over 14 seconds? Oh my god, I didn't even know that. I mean, how often do you see a Cyclone target something and it doesn't die by the time the lock-on switch? I didn't even know the lock-on had a timer. Jesus. Did you guys know it had a timer? Is this just me being really dumb? I don't think I've ever seen a Cyclone lock-on run out of time in my life. That's how rare it is. It kind of feels like we should have seen it in that situation before, though. Huh. Incredible. You guys all knew? It happens a lot? Does it really? Huh. Well, there you go, guys. Somehow, I'm a StarCraft 2 caster, and you guys aren't. It's how the world works, I'm sorry. Everyone but Wardy knew that lock-on had a timer. I kind of feel like I really knew lock-on had a timer. But then I try and think about it. I've never seen anything run out of time, because, like, how rarely does one Cyclone fight one Liberator? Usually something else shows up. Huh. Crazy. I really just feel as though I would have seen the Cyclone versus a Liberator fight more often, to the point where a Cyclone doesn't kill a Liberator. But every time I think I see it, I think, well, actually, you know, the Cyclone gets some sort of support along the way. You shoot flying Terran builds a lot of lock-on. Oh yeah, I guess, right? But then, how often do you really sit staring at a command, at a barracks flying through the sky locked on by a Cyclone, and be like, aha, the Cyclone stopped firing? Anyways, we are going to be seeing. There's a few Cyclones moving back towards the upper right-hand side of the map. Q went into some Cloak Banshee plays. That's going to be hitting in the next few moments. All said and done, TaeJa's come out in a 7-worker lead. CC on the low ground and mining, while Q is just about to land now. So definitely an advantage for TaeJa, and he's even going to protect against this Cloak Banshee right away. Turret in place, as the Banshee is not able to get into position. Just coming now and gets 1 and 2 SCVs. Just a couple of workers going down there, as we do see 2 refineries on the way from TaeJa. Just continue to add these on. Starport will jump onto the tech lab there, as we see extra barracks coming on down in the main base. Reaper will start to fire away and get a couple of SCVs in the main. And this is all damage which Kira really needs here, because he is definitely playing a fight from behind. He's Viking now, knowing that that Banshee's going to be low on energy. Will maybe give chase for a while. TaeJa has to try and keep up with it, though. Looks as though he will not quite see where it goes. So the Banshee will survive. A new Banshee in the main base is going to be the new problem. And, well, there are some Cyclones that are starting to make their way over there. Obviously, 4 Cyclones with a lock-on should kill this Banshee really quickly. Medevac, Banshee is just about to escape through the top there. So Banshee does get out. A Raven on both sides as well, which makes a lot of sense, especially obviously from TaeJa, who's already seen the Cloak Banshee moving around and in some trouble. Barracks on the way up from TaeJa here, just going to be finishing shortly, and yeah, I mean, everything looking good to move into this bio play. It drops onto another tech lab, so you can go into combat shields alongside the stim. On the other side of the map, stim just started from Q, and, well, the repercussions of TaeJa just being ahead a few workers throughout the course of the game is starting to shine through. His production's a bit faster, his upgrades are a bit sooner, his +1/+1 is way faster. I mean, these are all things which are going to give TaeJa an advantage moving into the next stages of the game. Just going to be seeing the couple of Cyclones going to be coming up in towards the frontier. We do see a couple of racks dropping down on the natural. Stim back on the way up from either side then, as we've mentioned before. And I really like to see that bio play. I mean, I know Q likes to play a lot of mech. I know mech in general is quite popular, but yeah, I kind of just like seeing the Marine tank versus Marine tank, and with two masters of the game as well. True Metal Dude in the chat just asked, is Q in good shape these days? And honestly, yes, he is. He does very well in a lot of online tournaments. He wins online tournaments. In fact, he won a Limo League last week. I mean, that's, you know, that's some crazy stuff, right? You know, he shows up, he plays against the best in the world, he can win these online tournaments. Damn right he's in good shape. So, well, right now, TaeJa seems to be in better shape, though. Obviously, just a best of one, essentially, between TaeJa and Q themselves. But going well at the moment, as we see 1-1 finish for TaeJa. And Sim in Combat finishing up now as well means he can get on the map and maybe really start to apply some pressure here in the near future. A few Marines is going to be trying to target down the Banshee. Raven. Is that, yeah, Raven or TaeJa? Sorry, the yellow ring around the Banshee of it being selected, really, I was like, wait, is that TaeJa's Banshee? Huh? What? God damn it, players playing in yellow, tricking Wardy. Cyclones come in, picking off a Marine on the bottom side of things here. A lot of Marines up top from Q as well, going to start spreading out, splitting up, and seeing where they want to go. Marine going to sit on this watchtower, and that will be cleaned out too, as the Cyclones come in, and they're able to get that kill. TaeJa only starts the +2 attack upgrade, no armor upgrade yet, maybe just a little bit low on gas, something he'd like to sort out sooner rather than later though, that I would imagine. Got a good amount of those Cyclones sat in the center. Marines come down, that Cyclone falls. Two more Vikings on the way up here from Q in the main base. Two more Vikings coming up over there. More Marines now heading up to the top side of the map, where they're going to be found already by a couple of Marines. And honestly, the upgrade difference and the fact that he's got combat shields, wow, yeah, it does mean that TaeJa wins it. And he had line of sight as well, obviously, which helps. Fun little fight, though. It was very close in the end. A 5 health Marine, 1-shot difference between the two of them. Well, I'm just going to be seeing the medevac loading up and heading in towards the main. Oh, medevac, though, is going to be found by the turret and the Vikings. And, well, interference matrix available on the Ravens on both sides here. But not if that Raven goes down. These two Marines from the medevac, who would have thought they'd have been so influential, kills a Raven, which takes away a lot of the defensive possibilities here from Q. Wow, plays by TaeJa at the moment. Still holds the middle of the map with his Cyclones as well. Just leaves them there for the moment. As we do see those Vikings of Q getting ready to go, ramping up, getting ready to push forwards, baby. I mean, he has the air control, right? And that's so important in a fight like this, to be able to push back medevac's air control of TaeJa and get rid of the high ground vision. Forces TaeJa to scan to deal more damage. Damage is already fairly nicely done, though, I would say. TaeJa going to now really fall behind, though, on +2 armor upgrades. So from having the upgrade lead all game long, they'll fall behind on the armors. The Cyclones did come forwards there, will be pushed away. Tanks look as though they're not going to have the vision to keep on fighting there for the moment. There's a little bit of high ground vision, so if anything comes forwards here to attack those tanks, it will go down. So that's the power of having this ramp held. It's just he doesn't see far enough forwards to use the entire range of these tanks. For example, this SCV mining, that would go down if a scan was to pop. Scan actually from Q as he sees the new units of TaeJa trying to come forwards here. The Raven's still full of energy, can definitely be so game-changing, though. I mean, you drop Interference Matrix on 4 of these Vikings, boom, you have the army to lead in the skies. And that's absolutely, well, huge plays, honestly, that could be happening. Liberator comes forward, sieges up, and one of those tanks pushed back. Now 2 more tanks pushed back. Problem is there isn't really an army here from Q which is ready to jump on this kind of pushback siege line, so not really much you can do about that, as finally we see more of these tanks sieging up and continuing to press forwards. A lot of the army from TaeJa gathering together towards the upper right-hand side. 2 more Vikings on the way out as well, +3 attack, +2 armor coming into play as well. +2 vehicle weapons now on the way out from TaeJa in the main base. As we are going to be seeing that scan dropping down, and again, just going to be seeing this little bit of a bioforce here from TaeJa. Going to start taking down these rocks. So rocks get taken down, and again, Vikings, a couple of tanks, setting themselves up over on the left-hand side of the map. Going to be seeing a big stim forwards by TaeJa. Oh, TaeJa, he's going to go for this here. Oh my god, Interference Matrix will start to drop down. The Raven will get more Interference Matrix, but that's a disaster for TaeJa. He had an upgrade lead, but that does not matter when you go into that many tanks. Even the Interference Matrices weren't enough to make a difference. As you see Liberator sieging up, picking off a tank already. Tanks will siege to push the Marine Force back. TaeJa loses his big army supply lead that he's held for a good portion of this game. It just disappears in a matter of seconds. There's the Marines. Sorry, just looked away to see what was over there, and all of a sudden the Marines ran into tank fire. Boom, they go down as well. You can see the army supply dropping quickly from TaeJa. And Kira now with more workers on the map as well. Looking very good in that regard. TaeJa will retake an upgrade lead though, with the push for attack over halfway done. That's something which Kira is yet to start, though he has the money to start it. Liberator sieging up again, pushing those tanks back. Oh, tanks push each other back into the Liberator range. That isn't pretty. As we see TaeJa still trying to fight over this position on the bottom side of the map. Simming forwards, Marines will get the Liberator, so takes down that threat for the moment. What's up, Carewaver? Thank you so much for that 3-month resub. Appreciate it. Get some love in the chat for Carewaver, guys, for the 3 months. You see this army pushing forwards from TaeJa right now, looking to see what can happen with Marines and tanks. Some tank fire going down here and there, some shots being traded out. It's mostly on this command center where some damage is being dealt. SCVs pulled into repair. Behind all of this, both players have gone up to a 4th base. Nothing we've really need to take a moment to mention, or nothing we need to spend more time on other than just mention that the 4th base is up. So the economies are still there for both players. Big counter attack though from Q on the top side. Tanks will start to siege up. I love this position of the tank on the high ground by TaeJa. You can see him realizing, oh my god, that's not going to get anywhere useful anytime soon. So he gets up on the high ground and will do a big part of pushing this back. 9 worker difference now as, 19 worker difference now as 9 workers go down. Vikings fighting in the skies again. That's definitely going to be Q's favor. You see a few Marines stimming in. Oh my god, that command center is about to go down. The SCV stopped repairing. Another big play suddenly as that command center falls. Absolutely crazy game number 3 here we have here between TaeJa and Q, because these games are going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's absolutely bonkers. We see Marines and Medevac setting up on the top side of the map now from Q as well. Another scan drops down. You're going to be seeing the tanks going to have to be a little bit careful, as we are going to be seeing the Vikings will give kind of that extra little bit of vision. TaeJa has the air control suddenly here, and we are going to see him sieging up. He will actually start to get a lot of damage done on those tanks, but the counter damage is pretty quick to come through as well. Shot will come in from Q. It was kind of an even trade. On the other side of the map, a lot of Marines just went down to that tank on the high ground, but they also denied a command center. As we see, this CC is also going to be full, and Q is also putting some real nails in the coffin for TaeJa. He's losing his own economy as well. Players are going to be reset down to 3 bases apiece. Biggest difference, I suppose, is 3... Well, is it just double orbital apiece as well? Yeah, I guess it is actually. I guess this was an orbital, of course, of TaeJa. I'm getting my sides of the map mixed up a little bit. Maybe seeing the Raven on the way up from TaeJa as well. Still trying to hold that air control here. See a top left base being taken by Q. TaeJa is still very convinced that he wants to hold this bottom side of the map. He's down by 30 workers, but I kind of feel like a lot of those workers are probably not doing too much. Yeah, a lot of oversaturation here from Q. So his income difference is not as big as you'd expect a 30 worker difference to be. And that's keeping TaeJa in the game. Upgrades about to even up here, 3-3 on either side. As we are going to be seeing Vikings still just patrolling in the skies as well now from TaeJa. Back and forth, looking to see what they can do. Q will come forward with a medevac. It will be pushed away by a couple of Vikings. Ravens as well. 4 now coming up as well from Q. So again, the 4 coming through. And a couple of extra command centers on the way as well. Vikings, tanks, and Marines. All of this going to be gathering up together. TaeJa through the center of the map here, as we are going to be seeing him coming to the top, but well, that tank army on the high ground's already in a good position, and TaeJa takes a bit of a beating so far. Man, this is tense because they're only 1 fight away from this game changing entirely, honestly. I mean, it does not take a lot for one player to lose tanks and then to lose the game from there. It's a very, very kind of on-edge game. As you see TaeJa backing away for what feels like the first time in 5 minutes or something. He's been on this bottom side of the map for an extremely long time, pressuring this command center, got the kill, holding the position again and again. Vikings, Ravens, Marines and tanks all gathered together here. TaeJa maybe wants to unsiege some tanks and push forwards perhaps. As we do see Q still just setting up to the top side of things. Going to be seeing Marines of TaeJa going to be coming through, and they are going to be picking off those rocks. So rocks going down again, open up pathways. TaeJa, he will have the larger army supply. By drilling in the work account, he will have the army time to make it work out. As we see the Ravens get taken down. Anti-armor missile goes down on some Marines in the front as TaeJa takes a fight. He has Marines coming in from both angles. TaeJa fully surrounds this army, and he'll push through Cure like he's nothing. Look at that. TaeJa powers through out of nowhere almost. I was a little bit kind of maybe too caught up on the Ravens, because TaeJa's Ravens were dropping and just doing nothing, but then one anti-armor missile did strike. The flank from the top side was huge, and the kill on those siege tanks is absolutely essential, as now TaeJa can push up this ramp, push in towards the bottom left-hand side, and well, basically much just put an end to this game, and put Team Group Assignment ahead in the series. Wow. TaeJa, after having a lead early, threw it away maybe here and there, kept things even from there. He finds that one fight we were talking about, the one fight that could just absolutely entirely change a game out of nowhere, just because these guys have not had the banks to necessarily rebuild. Cure right now has a lot of money in the bank, and maybe he could have rebuilt, but TaeJa doesn't give him time because that fight was so decisive. TaeJa takes it over Cure, and TaeJa will be putting, again, Group Assignment tied up right now, ahead now, 2-1, heading into the 2v2 section of this. Damn. Now the 2v2 is going to be Trap and Cure taking on TaeJa and PartinG. So, to explain what's happened so far, Classic took the lead, he took down PartinG. FanTaSy and TaeJa then took down Trap and Cure. So after the 2v2 is an all-kill section, and right now, FanTaSy and TaeJa are both eligible for all-kill from Team Group Assignment. Classic is eligible for all-kill for the, I can't say it all the time, Kim Do-seong-ho. Now, the winner of the 2v2 gets a revive, so if the 2v2 is won by Team Group Assignment, they can revive PartinG for the all-kill stage of this. If the 2v2 is won by Classic's team, they can revive one of Cure and Trap, going into the all-kill section as well, and it'll be 2-2 going into there. So guys, that's what's going on, that's what's happening. It's 2v2 coming up next, something we don't really cast all the time. What's up, Kitsy, coming in with a fresh new Twitch Prime sub just before we head into a quick break here. Get some love in the chat for Kitsy. Thank you so much for hitting us up with the Twitch Prime. Appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the stream today, do consider subscribing to the channel. It's really goes a long way to helping us put on more StarCraft 2 content, helping cast all of these events that we cast, and stuff like that. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, do consider subscribing. You get replay packs and more. And guys, I'll see you in a few moments for TaeJa and PartinG versus Cure and Trap in the 2v2. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Thank you for sitting through a couple of breaks here and there. The ads go a long way to supporting the stream. Some fun action now as we're going to kick off into some 2v2. I mean, I never cast 2v2, so this could be interesting, to put it simply. Let's do this. Let's go in game and see what's going to happen. To the top left-hand side, we're going to be starting. In fact, let's turn the scoreboard. Oh, we can't turn the scoreboard around. Okay, no worries. Well, to the top left-hand side, our teal Terran player is Cure, and he is joined by teammate Trap, the two players that lost on Kim Do-seong-ho so far today, and that's why they're down 1-2. As we have PartinG, who lost out a Classic earlier. He's going to be teaming up with TaeJa to try and take down the opponents, and would put them on match point, entering the all-kill section. But then again, it is Classic who'd be alive on the match point, and I think Classic, well, Classic would be alive on the all-kill, and that's obviously going to be very scary for that opponent to take down. What's up, Juvie? I just wanted to say you appreciate the work. No worries. Thanks for joining us on the stream today. TaeJa wasn't really properly back. He was just allowed to play GSL qualifiers during his military service. So he'd been playing a little bit here and there. There was a massive thread about it when he started playing stuff, though. Anyways, yeah, he is back for real now, apparently. What's up, Omega Trucks? Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Really appreciate it. Again, guys, you love the stream, you want to support us. Subscribing is the way to do it. It's the way to help us put on more StarCraft 2 tournament. And it's the way for us to keep on casting more StarCraft 2 content in general. A couple of people are asking about the Penthouse casting. So Penthouse Party has been announced by TaeJa. It's going to be happening next weekend. Now, we already hit the goal. Basically, we have confirmed I am going to be going to the Penthouse Party in Germany, in Krefeld, helping out Rossi and the German casters and casting there offline. So that's already guaranteed that I'm going to be going. Any extra donations will just help to make my stay a little bit easier. Basically, the donation goal was just a little bit less than what the hotel cost, etc. So any extra donations just help me to have some food while I'm there. I'm not getting paid to cast at the event. It's purely kind of a passion thing. Funded by you guys. I figured if you guys wanted to see me casting it, I'll go and cast it. So if you guys want to support that, any donations currently go towards that. That's the Penthouse Party by TaeJa next week. Can I move the health overlay? I can. God damn it. Is there ever a time where port isn't in the way, guys? Can we just ban this guy already? Apologies. Well, the early game is interesting as the reboot goes down. Lings and Adepts coming in at the same time here. TaeJa's playing Zerg, by the way. Didn't actually really mention that at all, as we do have a... the other players are playing their main races. So TaeJa's playing Zerg. How interesting. TaeJa actually always had very good off-race. I don't know if you guys ever remembered this, but he actually always did have a lot of... you know, he always played off-race before his matches, and people always talked about how he had very good off-races. This fight here, a little bit chaotic, and it will go the way of Trap and Cure as they defend those Adepts and Lings with some ease. So that's a good defense right there. Thank you very much to the $5 donation coming in from Rimmerman. $5 saying, cool Tony, much obliged. Well, thank you so much for the $5, dude. Do make sure you check out Crank, though. Crank is the person who is... funded this and who's put on this tournament. We're just joining in as not even the main English cast, just the secondary English cast. Casting this at just from replays because we figured, well, hey, you know, may as well. Base Trader casting it live every Friday, but I figured I'd do it a few hours later on a different day just in case other people couldn't watch and stuff. That's kind of the plan. So, parting here with a couple of Adepts will be able to win this out. Do we get to choose what you eat with our donations? It depends if you choose something nice. If you pick something nice, I'll eat it. If you pick something awful, bleh, no way. Interesting, TaeJa, I guess expand it to the right side rather than down here just because the creep doesn't block the low ground, then I'm not actually too sure. Anyways, he pushes up the right hand side and he will be going up to the 3 bases at the same time. PartinG just now getting his second base up, same for the Protoss on the top left side of the map. Trap, his natural expansion just coming up as well. Cure, his Stimpak's on the way, a couple of Medivacs are about halfway done. And we are going to be seeing coming up right now from TaeJa. So, again, TaeJa playing some Zerg here. I mean, I guess why the hell not? 2v2, bit of fun, maybe feels like Terran sucks, because, you know, we all know Terran sucks. Just because Mara can win doesn't mean the rest of us can. But yeah, I mean, again, like I was saying, TaeJa's off-base has always been very good, so... We'll see what comes of this. We do see the couple of Adepts coming up the left side, and well, they are going to shade through that Adept wall off of Trap. And that is going to be parting up toward the main base, but Phoenix are here, and that's going to be a lift and a kill, and he will not even get the one probe running by. So unfortunately for parting, it's 2 more Adepts down the drain. Currently have both the Protoss players sat at about 50 to 60 supply. The Zerg player TaeJa is up at 78 supply, and the Cure, the Terran, 71 supply. Flip peeking coming down already here from Trap. Sorry, on the other side of the map from parting. How interesting. He's also been making Phoenix. Wow. So both players playing Phoenix. TaeJa currently supporting with Queens and making some Roaches as well. We don't have one player feeding the other, which is oftentimes the way that this goes. Cure is going to drop into this base while being supported by the Phoenix of his opponent. Parting was kind of, you know, getting in position here to help. Now TaeJa's Roaches starting to move over as well. Queen will go down. Here we go. The Phoenix trying to get the Medivacs, but under threat from the Phoenix of his opponent. We are going to be seeing the Phoenix trading out. The Queen's coming in to try and help out as well. They'd love to help by picking up some of these Marines because those Roaches weren't having the best of time for a while. Now the Roaches will push this away as it looks as though PartinG is going to win out in the skies. He'll chase those Phoenix down. It's going to be pretty even in the skies though. Nice little bit of micro towards the end, and 2 Phoenix get away with 3 Phoenix left alive. Protoss army supply counts go down to, well, 10 against 20. So actually it's still a better situation for Trap here, as those Medivacs will be chased now as well. And PartinG just going to pick up on those Terran. Will lose his Medivacs. TaeJa sitting strong at 85 supply, 54 drones in the game. 4th base already starting up, while we still just see 2 bases apiece from Trap and Cure on the top left-hand side. Onion Pulse Crystals currently on the way up here as well, so getting that Chrono boosted at the moment, and yeah, Chrono boosting through as some of these creep team is going to keep on pushing forwards as well. Still these Phoenix up in the skies right now as Marines and tanks are gathering up together. Another scan drops down from Cure as we do have Roaches able to pick off those rocks, opening up a pathway. Couple more Phoenix being made. Big push though from Cure with these tanks involved. A little bit worried about TaeJa's army composition. It is mostly Roaches. He's switching in towards melee upgrades, so he's going to look to Golding Bane. He is getting a Hydralist done as well, but kind of feels like TaeJa's in the middle of switching up a whole bunch of things while this attack from Cure is not slowing down at all. Phoenix still here to support from Trap. He has 9 Phoenix against the 9 of his opponent, and Impulse Crystals is done though for PartinG. That means he can fight from a distance, and he will be able to fight without his opponent's Phoenix hitting him. But those tanks are sieged up and in position. Here we go. TaeJa going to start leaping on this. The Phoenix need to get in here and try and support. The Roaches taking a beating from the siege tanks. Cure will hold position on the low ground for now. The Phoenix are still set up from PartinG to try and fight, and well, they're still doing good damage. Going to maybe be able to get rid of those medevacts. Getting close. Phoenix coming around, and some medevac going so low. It's so low, really. Going to try and drop on the high ground for constant high ground vision, but well, those 2 pylons actually could put a heavy supply block on PartinG, and the tanks, if they get a scan or anything up there, they will get those pylons. That would be a big deal. PartinG's third base coming all the way towards the upper right side of the map now. So continuing to expand the third bases of our Terran and Protoss player on the top left are just now coming through. You see the Phoenix and the Phoenix player. The Lings are going to go for the Marines on the high ground. The Ravagers coming in and biling down the tanks on the low ground. TaeJa getting some good damage done with those Roaches and Ravagers, but the Marines still stand strong. PartinG will win out the Phoenix war, but needs to be able to get rid of these Marines ASAP now, and he will lift a lot of them up just to make sure that he will be able to clean this up without taking too much damage. Nicely done. Alright, well, it's a cleanup by TaeJa and PartinG, and on the other side of things, Trap and Cure still looking okay though. I mean, you look at this overall, there's currently 111 workers on the map for TaeJa PartinG. There is currently 107 on the map for Trap Cure. TaeJa does have the highest army supply of all. PartinG and Trap's army supplies are similar. It's actually a pretty evened out game. Both the Protoss players don't have any upgrades either. They're now going to go into +1 air weapons. It's going to be a 2-2 Terran player shortly playing against a Lingbane Hydra Zerg with the Protoss supporting each side. And again, it kind of feels pretty even on the Protoss side of things. So it kind of comes down to the ZVT, it feels like, at the moment. Mothership on the way up though from PartinG will give him a bit of an advantage there. TaeJa setting up a bit of a run by. Will he find this bottom left base? Yes, he will. So we'll be able to cancel this hidden base from Trap. Unfortunately, that's just not going to get a chance to come up. There's nothing nearby that can really come and protect it. And those Lings will be able to work their way through the Nexus. So the Nexus goes down. More of those Lings heading up the left-hand side. We'll see a probe popping out here, going to throw down a Nexus as well. So Nexus gets thrown down at the front. Marines, tanks, pushing forwards. More of these Lings from TaeJa coming up this left-hand side. Going to come through, and again, that Nexus going to take a little bit of damage and will fall pretty quickly there. In fact, that's a kill, not even a cancel. More Lings stream on in towards the third base here of Trap, and again, these run by starting to do quite a bit of damage. No shield barrier or anything set up here just yet, so those probes are dropping quickly. Phoenix come in, but the last thing Trap wants to be using his energy on is lifting up single Zerglings. I mean, are you kidding me? No way. TaeJa finds some real value with this at the moment, as they are going to be seeing now Trap and Cure with those group of units moving back out. I mean, TaeJa buying a lot of time to set up into this Hydra Ling Ravager army. Surprised by the lack of Baners at the moment, but maybe they get added on here in the next few moments. Definitely a possibility. Still seeing some of the Phoenix up in the skies. Overseer going to take some damage. Will fall. Phoenix starting to fire on both sides. If the Lings go down very quickly, the Roaches, Ravagers, and Hydras. Corrosive Biling Hydras on the right side going to try and help out. The Mothership comes in. The Phoenix are PartinG just aren't able to fight, apparently. I feel as though he's playing a little bit scared here. Scan comes down from Cure, which gives the vision to deal with the Mothership. Those few Marines that are left over are very, very low. Phoenix chased in for a couple extra kills. TaeJa on the 150 supply. And the Protoss, again, the Protoss comparisons right now, 110 to 95 supply, PartinG leads. And then it comes down to this ZVT where its army supplies even up against each player. TaeJa's still just looking good for this one. Trap and Cure just sitting in the center. Ultralisk Cavern drops down from TaeJa to start to get set up into this now. As we see more of these Phoenix from our red Protoss. gathering on up. Here we go with a big force of Ling Hydra coming through the center of the map at the moment, looking to try and jump on something here, but doesn't quite manage to. Couple of Phoenix going down. Here we go. More Marines coming in as well. Lings, Hydras, Banes. All of this trying to fight the Phoenix, trying to get rid of that mothership as well. It's a bit of a weird fight. The Marines getting caught up in that choked up central position. Still feel like TaeJa is just missing them Balins. He's got centrifugal hooks. He's got a few of them mixed in, but not too many. And I really feel like, yeah, get a few more because it's definitely going to make the difference here. Oh, mothership will go down now. Here we go. The Lings going to try and run in towards those Marines, but so many Marines. Hydras are not going to do that much as well. And I just feel like the ground army is stronger here from Kura and Trap. And that's why they're going to start breaking through. TaeJa backs away. Phoenix War starting to even out a little bit as well. The Phoenix numbers 12 to 15 in favor of Trap. Is the TaeJa and PartinG combo in some trouble. They were looking good throughout the game, but again, the army on the ground just not enough for TaeJa. And that's really where this is falling apart. Kura able to stronghold this position with this tank line. That's really, really powerful at the moment as you see Phoenix still positioning themselves, getting ready to go. A few more Lings popping out. They get taken down almost instantly here. Plus 2 air weapons on the way out on the cybernetics core, as we'll see those Phoenix just hanging out overhead, looking to see how they can help. I feel like in none of these fights the Phoenix have been ever free to kind of come in and really just deal damage. They've always been keeping each other occupied. TaeJa, 176 supply. As we do have Lings, Hydras, Banes going forwards here. Phoenix firing against each other. Marines continuing to press forwards. Here still seeing just what else he can get up to as here we go. Lings, Banes, Hydras and Ultras running forwards here. Phoenix fighting against each other, and we are going to be seeing a huge clump of units getting set up and ready to go. The Phoenix firing against each other as well, and it looks as though it is Trap that wins out that fight. Kura is just going to steamroll over the TaeJa army on the ground. And that's the issue. The Zerg army just never really got going here. And when you finally hit the Ultras, it doesn't have enough behind those Ultras or with those Ultras to really make a difference. This Ultra gets cancelled. No, it doesn't even get cancelled. It pops out and it dies instantly. And that's going to be GG. And it's going to be a tied up best of 7 team matchup here in this power overwhelming clan war from week 1 of the league. We're going to be seeing this Bioforce still just pushing forwards. Tanks sieged up and more difficult to deal with positions. The Phoenix apart and continue to fall. And after a 14-minute slugfest, it is going to fall the way of Trap and Kura. And that means going into, as the GGs are called, Trap and Kura take the win. That does mean going into the all-kill stage. Classic, Trap and Kura have a revive available. So Classic was winning his first game today. He was eligible for the all-kill already. But now they'll be able to revive one of Trap or Kura. And we'll find out who that'll be as we go on. So, that'll be figured out soon. On the other side of things, the 2 players available from Team Group Assignment are TaeJa and FanTaSy. Those 2 guys are the players who won their initial matches, so they're still alive. They don't get a revive because they didn't win the 2x2, so it's just going to be FanTaSy and TaeJa versus Classic and the revive player. What's up, Diesel? Thank you so much for the 9-month free sub. Marbles when? 24-hour marbles on Saturday. I'd like to have the Kerrigan poster behind Wardy. Anyone knows where I can get that? You mean this one over here? Like this one where my hands... I can never do this. This one here. It's... I got it at Katowice, but I'm pretty sure you can buy it elsewhere. This is Nova, this poster here. But yeah, this one over here, it's a wall hang. Let me see if I can find it for you, because I kind of know what to Google for. StarCraft 2 wall hang. I can't find it. Yeah, but yeah, it's like a wall hang thing. Like it's like a banner that rolls up. It's kind of cool. But I got it at I Am Katowice last year, so I can't really help you. All right. So guys, let's keep this going. Let's keep the action rolling, shall we? Coming up first is we have Mel's Melee for the 31-month resub. Thank you so much for the 31 months. Give me some love in the chat for that one. Coming up next, the all kills will begin, and let's kick that off right away. Let's not do a break. Let's go right into this with TaeJa versus Classic. So again, this is going to be all kill now, so the winner stays on. It's 2-2, and it's first to 4 that wins the series. You found it on eBay? Boom, there you go. Murky is your hero. $34? It's not even too bad. I would pay $34 for it. Is the probe my favorite waifu? Sorry, I'm not Rifkin. I don't get off on 2D girls. Sorry, guys. Sorry to disappoint. I know you all come in here expecting this to be full-on WardiTV levels of streaming, but I just don't have that level of passion in my life. All right. Well, the one player to take the point in 1v1 so far today for Kim Do Seongho is Classic. He's in the bottom left-hand side as the blue Protoss player. Uh-oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Both of these guys are being a little bit cheeky with their workers. As for the top right-hand side, the yellow Terran player is TaeJa. Alrighty, so TaeJa will proxy his first barracks across the map because, hey, what's TVP if you're not proxying your first barracks in 2018? You're not even playing the matchup properly, honestly. Alright, so that first rack's getting proxied up on the bottom left-hand side of things. Probe being nibbled away at here by this SCV. Quite a bit of damage being done on that probe. Actually, shield's already gone on it. And we are going to be seeing the racks just continuing to come up over here. The gateway coming down. Getting set up into this game 5 of this best of 7. After this, guys, we have a second best of 7 coming up for you guys. And that one's going to be between Titan X1, which is Bunny, Impact, and Alive. They're going to be teaming on Team 94. What is it exactly? 94 Fam, Deer, Rogue, and TY. So that's coming up after this. Factory drops down here from TaeJa as we do see that probe. Classic moving through that main base mineral line. Taking a little bit of damage as they go. Orbital command on its way up. Factory. Again, I have everything just proxying here from TaeJa. Obviously, at this point, Classic knows what's happening, though. He's seen the double gas. He's seen no barracks at home. He's also seen no factory coming down. And that's the most important part of this. Knowing that there's no factory means that he should pretty much know the factory is on the map. And that really does change up what this can be from TaeJa. Rather than this being just a proxied Reaper, and also the lack of a Reaper suggests that too. Rather than it being a proxied Reaper, he now fully knows it's probably going to be Cyclones reacted, because that's the most common way to go about this. The only other way to go about this would probably be Marines, tanks, and like a Viking push forwards or medevac push forwards. Two Cyclones starting up on this reactor here. The robot facility drops down from Classic in the main base. See one Stalker of Classic also just running around down to the bottom side of the map. So, single Stalker down to the bottom, and we do just see that barracks flying home. Has finally found the factory, so now Classic knows where that is. Again, pretty sure he knew what was up with the couple of, I'm pretty sure he was expecting Cyclones to be on their way here. And indeed they are. Off they go to the left-hand side. These two Cyclones going to be pushing at the front as the Nexus on its way up will have to be just a little bit scary. A couple of Widow Mines on the way in from TaeJa as well. As we do see those couple of Cyclones just poking away at the Nexus. And we do have, again, just going to be seeing those couple of Stalkers taking a little bit of damage. There's no shield battery or anything on the low ground, but if you can get away with keeping this Nexus alive, that would be absolutely crazy. As you see the Stalkers trying to fight once again here. A little bit of damage onto the Cyclone. The Stalker gets pushed up into the main base. And well, the Immortal pops out as well. Widow Mines here, so this is cool. It's a cool way to play it. Oh no, the Immortal goes into the Widow Mines. Only one of them though. One of them Stalkers still super low as well. The Widow Mines are really cool because it kind of zones out where your opponent can go in terms of fighting the Cyclones, so they can kind of pull back into kind of a very defensive position where the Protoss player will not chase. That obviously makes things very cool. It is a very fun little build to play, but it's very technical. The follow-up here is going to be a Widow Mine drop. The 4 Widow Mines kept alive, and all of them going to be loading up into the medevac. The 2 Cyclones are headed home. It was only 2 Cyclones. Sometimes you can see a couple more and then the Widow Mines. Just the 2 though. Classic had a very good idea of what was going on, it felt like, and I mean definitely showed us that in the defense. And so far it's been pretty flawless from Classic. We look at units lost, 1 SCV through the game. Has TaeJa gained enough from this? Because obviously his CC is very late. For now, he is ahead on workers, so you would say probably yes, it's worked out. But like, obviously a few of those workers are starting to oversaturate. He is missing a mule. And that's all things to think about here, as we do see the medevac will be turned away by the stalkers. And now we see Cloak Banshee set up as well. So TaeJa really going very harassment heavy here in this PVT. That's going to be seeing the 2 Cyclones coming up through the top side. Warp Prism with the 2 Immortals in from Classic going to be heading toward the main base in the near future. Command Center finishes, and we do just see a couple of Marines popping out, and again that Marine count starting to get going. Factory's going to make it home onto a tech lab, which looks as though it's going to be replaced by a barracks, so you can get the stim pack started most likely. Maybe use this tech lab as well for second racks and go combat shields as well. Cyclone lock-ons get that Prism low, the Immortals do unload and get the Cyclones a little bit low. Bunker toward the front to help defend, as we have a Banshee from TaeJa coming out and around the left-hand side to get ready to deal some damage. Also just going to wait for Cloak though. As we do have the 2 Immortals still with this Prism just going to sit on the low ground. TaeJa is trying to take this low ground now. Worker count still only a 1 worker difference between the 2 players. Just TaeJa really needs to be able to mine from his natural, because otherwise he's still going to be trailing heavily in that income game. It's been an up and down game so far. Here we go, the Cyclones starting to come in with the Marines. Lock-ons onto the Prism via 1 Cyclone, now onto the other. Gets it low, but again, not low enough. 1 Cyclone falls to take the natural, but Bunker comes up here as well. However, Stalker's warping in. Feels as though Classic thinks he can definitely get more done here. Second Banshee teaming up with the first. There's already a Stalkers and an Observer in the natural, so I'm not sure how successful they're really going to be. Stalkers and Immortals going to start working their way through that orbital command, so a lot of damage being dealt there. TaeJa with a tank on the main base, going to be setting that up, sieging that up here, it seems. SCVs and Marines going to try and think about what they might want to try and go for in the next few moments. Another bunch of SCVs going to get to mine, and, well, that natural command center is still not being allowed to properly land. SCVs from TaeJa really want to mine here, though, and that's the issue. This tank doesn't want to push too far forwards either. Classic is just choking TaeJa out of this game, it feels like. We missed it, but the Banshees came in. One of them went down, the other gets out alive, but no real damage done. So Banshees are unsuccessful. Just going to be seeing the Marines just going to be sat here as we see some Adepts pushing forwards, and we are going to be seeing the 2 tanks just setting up as well. We're not going to be seeing those rocks going to get knocked down here, and again, just this army of Classic waiting to go. Quick recap, a couple people asking in the chat very quickly. The series so far, Classic took down PartinG. Kua was taken out by TaeJa, and FanTaSy took out Trap. That was a 2-1 lead for Team Group Assignment, but they lost in the 2v2, so it's tied up 2-2, and we now enter the all-kill stage here between Classic and TaeJa for the first match. We've seen the Stalker just poking away in that Banshee for a moment, and finally Classic seems to let up on some of this pressure. Third Nexus coming down from him at home, so it's not like he's, not like he's in trouble or anything at the moment, as we see plus 1 attack halfway done. Combat shields coming up. Stim pack on its way through as well. And that Warp Prism going to loop around the left side here. And with a couple of Immortals, we'll be trying to just apply a little bit more pressure all over again. Those Adept Shades still not coming through. Oh my god, he could get Stim pack here! And he's going to get it before the SCVs get there! SCVs get there, but just a little bit too late. Stim pack denied. What a huge play. TaeJa cancels combat shields to start up Stim pack. Wow. I mean, that's how important Stim pack is. Can't waste a second trying to get it up in the game. And that's a huge deficit here now from TaeJa. He's going to be playing massively from behind, and that's going to hurt. Classic's been controlling this game for a little while now. Just having the presence on the maps opens the opportunities to make plays like this. The ability to jump into the main while pressuring the natural. TaeJa doesn't know where to defend for the best. And it's plays like that that really do just... I mean, it's great plays like that that give Classic the kind of, well, the reputation that he has as one of the greatest players in the world. He'll be the player that knows when he can take advantage of the map, be aggressive against a Terran player, and hold his own on the other side, which then opens up those chances. If Classic had just sat back, I mean, imagine how little damage he would have done here. TaeJa would have had a CC on the natural a lot faster. He would have been maybe even pushing with tanks and all sorts at this moment. He wouldn't have cancelled Stim, and what a difference that would have been. Prism loads up a few High Templar. Storm is going to just be a few moments away here. So as Storm comes up and into play, it does obviously allow for that, well, very deadly storm dropping action. We'll see if TaeJa can avoid those storms, though. We'll need Stim in combat before he takes on that army. It feels like as the third CC finishing up, and TaeJa will be able to push out into a third, but definitely has been falling further and further behind. Look at the income graph here. Very classic dominated since the start of the game was around here, and it has been very classic dominated. There's been these points where TaeJa's taken slight leads, forced probe pulls, etc. But it's been huge chunks of time where Classic has taken a huge advantage, and that really does go such a long way. And all of that's starting to transfer into an army advantage as well for Classic, which has been pretty substantial for a while. And obviously that's only, the crazy thing about that is that's Classic also teching up with this army. Like, this isn't just like a low-tech gateway heavy army. Yes, it's a lot of Zealots and Stalkers. There's an Archon in here, there's Immortals in here, there's a bunch of High Templars with Storms in here. As Classic starts to come in towards the upper right-hand side. And this could spell trouble, of course, for group assignment, the team, which has FanTaSy left alive if TaeJa falls here. But if Classic's PVT is looking like this, I'm already just a little bit worried, a little bit concerned. Just going to be seeing a few Zealots warping in, and Hallucinate Colossus pops up. Why the hell not from Classic? TaeJa probably already feels like he's a bit behind. If he wastes some time attacking a fake Colossus, well, it only gets Classic into a better position. You can see that Classic's looping around, setting up to come up 2 ramps at the same time to make this a bit of a better concave. And here we go. It's definitely a choke point on this left-hand side, but it's enough already for him to push this away. And oh, the Warp Prism, though, is going to be saved by a storm from the Templars on the low ground. Now the Templar can start dropping out of the Prism, which was brought so low there. That so nearly went down. What a disaster that would have been. Either way, I'm not sure if it would have made a difference. Classic was far enough ahead. GG. Classic swipes the floor with TaeJa's army. And that is going to be a 3-2 lead. And it is Classic once again retaking the lead for his team here today. Very, very nicely done. Very nicely done. Alright, guys. Well, we're going to be taking a quick little break. And when we come back, it is going to be FanTaSy, the last man standing for Team Group Assignment. And if he loses to Classic, they'll be setting up into our second best 7 of the day, which is 94 Fam, Dear Rogue, and TY versus Titan X1, Alive, Bunny, and Impact. So guys, stay tuned. We'll be back here very soon. Classic versus FanTaSy is going to be up next. It's match point for Classic. FanTaSy, if he wins this, then has to beat one of the players that gets revived from Kim Do Seong Ho. As they put out. Holy shit. Seems kind of crazy. Seems kind of crazy. Like, I actually kind of like the changes. If you guys didn't read, I'm just going to go through these quickly here before we get into potentially last game of this first series today. Shield battery, health and shields decreased from 200 to 150. Prism pickup range decreased from 6 to 5. Void Ray prismatic alignment speed reduction decreased from 40% to 25%. Zerg Queen Transfuse will now heal 75 health instantly and then 50 extra health over 7 seconds. I like that. I actually really like that change. Creep tumor generation is going to be increased from 0.3 to 0.45 time between creep growth periods, which is just going to nerf creep a bit. Same for Overlord creep. Roach Tunneling Claws decreased from 150 to 100, no longer increases the health regen of burrowed roaches. Hydra health is going to be fixed back to 90 health and from 85, which they nerfed before, and they're going to slightly slow down the attack speed of Hydras. Infester, the unit radius is decreased, so it's a little bit smaller. It's I think it's just in general made a little bit smaller in general. They can now move through units while burrowed, and it will no longer... Oh, Fungal Growth will now no longer allow effective units to blink, tactical, jump, or load into transports or buildings. Ha, how fun. That's kind of interesting, so you can't load up a medevac if your units are fungled. Huh. And the Nidus network cost has decreased from 200, 250, 150. Ah, I like the changes. I think they're very positive. Alright guys, let's go into game number 6 of this series. Classic has brought his team up to a 3-2 advantage. Let's see if he can close it out. He's the blue Protoss hanging out on the top left-hand side of Fracture. And at the bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player is FanTaSy. Is it me, or do they make far too many changes to ever know if any of them balance anything? I mean, it's off-season, right? They're making the changes in the off-season, so they're making a lot of them to make the game a bit different in the long run. I like it. I think, I mean, it's the right time to do it. Honestly, I think they should be more drastic in the off-season. I think they should just remove the Queen. You know, see if that fixes Zerg. Because now's the time to try it out. Who knows? Maybe without Queens, Zerg will actually lose a map or two now and then. Ay. You know, my favorite thing was between on this weekend of Clash Invitational, probably watching Cyril take on 4 players in Archon mode. It really, for the first time ever, I really saw Archon mode being used by players who were well communicated, who really kind of put some effort into, you know, how to control their units. For the first time ever, it genuinely made it so that it seemed like Archon mode was a cool mode. The potential there is absolutely crazy. I also support the removal of Queens. Yeah, seems good, right? I think real sport should also have balance patches. Hey guys, I think the football should have a decreased radius for the next season. You know, really spice up the game a little bit. We've been playing with the same footballs for, you know, 10, 20, 30 years. You know, why don't we just make them a bit smaller? See what happens, you know? Fuck it, why don't we change the shape? Why don't we do like why don't we do square footballs? Why don't we change the goal shape? Fuck. Can you imagine? Players are now no longer allowed to run at a certain speed. Really slow down the game. We're just sick of players counterattacking too quickly. There'll be some memes. Can we see the Stargate opening here from classic early game PvT with that Stargate? Generally a Oracle-based opening. Could maybe go into a few Phoenix from there. We've seen a lot of Phoenix-based playstyle as of late, allowing players to kind of just take control of the sky, shut down harassment very easily, and so on and so forth. FanTaSy is the last man standing for group assignment. If he dies here, the series is over. If he wins, he'll play against one of Classic, Cure, and Trap in their revive. I believe they're allowed to revive either Trap or Cure if FanTaSy is able to defeat Classic here because they won the 2v2. We've seen this Adept coming forwards, and we do see the Hellion just going to be pushed away over to the right-hand side. They changed the footballs one World Cup. You know what? I remember that when the footballs were like too airy, and everyone was like kicking them, and they were going like over the goals. I actually remember that. And everyone was like, "What the fuck, man?" Like, they're like, "What the hell?" Like, the footballs just like go flying, like it's too light. I actually do remember that. But you know, I'm saying let's really change it up. Like, let's make the football a different shape. You know, we pay these footballers enough money; they can deal with some changes. Just practice, guys. Where can we read the change balance changes? On the StarCraft website. Mookie's got your back. He's got the link in the chat already. Boom, just like that. What a legend. 2 gateways dropping down on the south side here from Classic. And on the other side of the map, we see a couple more Cyclones on the way up as well. Oracle getting some kills here. A couple of SCVs going down. Cyclones will get the kill now. Oracle, that's really nicely done. Good shutdown by FanTaSy. Cyclones and Marines combined with a good defense. 2 extra gates on the way up from Classic. He does throw down Epoxy Pylon. We'll see if he actually makes much use of that. There's one Hellion from FanTaSy trying to keep up to date with what's going on the left-hand side of the map. Going to be seeing a couple of Cyclones on the way up, and we are going to be seeing, well, SCVs pulled with this, so this is quite a serious attack here from FanTaSy. Stasis Ward could be absolutely crucial, though, and the Stasis Ward will finish the... Hellion sets it off, but one of the Cyclone gets caught anyways, and I think that's a massive shame, because it really feels like this sort of situation where a Cyclone should never be caught in that. And that may make the difference of maybe having the damage to take down that Oracle a bit faster. SCVs are not currently repairing the Cyclone taking damage. Probes are pulled into this fight as well. Trying to pull back now, but the shield batteries are up and Classic has bought enough time. This is obviously a lot of SCVs off the line for FanTaSy, so he needs to try and really find something here, but the reality is he's not finding much at all. Cyclones, well, now the second Cyclone of the original 4 will go down. Takes a little while though. Probes are starting to drop here as they fight outside of shield battery range. And that is quite important here as we are going to be seeing 12 probes killed. This is actually starting to do maybe just enough damage done. 2 SCVs somehow only have fallen for FanTaSy so far. If he pulls these SCVs away now and doesn't lose any more of them, and gets them back to mining. This might not even be all that bad, as we're going to be seeing the Stalkers going to be coming forwards. Cyclone here starting to fight against that Cyclone. Oracle comes in. It will be a full cleanup there in the end. I definitely feel that helps Classic quite a lot, because it really brings the worker count down to like 34, 38, rather than him being behind 6 or 10 workers even. So that was nicely done. So he's still playing behind a little bit, but he will have the army supply to push forwards with and see what he can get done. Bunker on the way up. Just a masterful defense from Classic. Very well done. Pulled the probes when he needed to. I feel as though if FanTaSy holds on here, though, he's still in a decent spot, right? Still equal on workers. Starts up Stim already. I kind of like it. It's just I feel like these Stalkers are going to get a lot done. Bunker gets killed. No cancel. He's going to be seeing those Stalkers still pressing around. Widowmine will go off. No blink, of course, so that's just a straight-up dead Stalker. But it means the Widowmine is ripe for the picking in a few moments. The Oracle will try and help get rid of those Widowmines, but they will be able to burrow. Oh! Oracle actually pulls the Widowmine damage over the SCVs. Some friendly fire there. SCV count now down to 36. That is 10 dead SCVs in recent times. That proxy paladin coming in useful, warping in these extra Stalkers. And once again, we are seeing a lot of SCVs going down, and that SCV count still dropping. Suddenly, Classic is up by over 10 workers. 16 workers killed in recent times as we see those Widowmines on the ramp. Well, one Stalker will go down to this, but he kills the Cyclones. Suddenly, there's no more units here. Well, 2 more Cyclones are about to pop, but then 3 more Stalkers show up, and so Classic is still applying a lot of pressure with this. SCVs are pulled in again as FanTaSy keeps on trying to defend here. Oh my god, so many low health SCVs are so easily picked off, but the Widowmines will get to position on top of the high ground, and I think that should be the end of this attack from Classic. But boy, did he shut down FanTaSy's economy advantage. Look at that spike from Classic as he forces so many workers off the line. He gets a kill on a ton of them, and behind it all, he's taken a 3rd Nexus. Nice revelation there, actually allows him to get a Widowmine kill, and actually retake high ground position. Is he going to sacrifice the Oracle? He is going to sacrifice the Oracle. Friendly fire damage done again. That one detected Widowmine here will get shut down immediately, and that bunker is still not up, so Classic isn't done yet. 2 Marauders, though, make this a very dangerous situation. The bunker will finish. The Marauders will be in that bunker, and that is really quite a game changer, because that bunker is going to be very difficult to break down. Very, very difficult. Stalker's still looking to try and do a little bit more as we see the Stalkers pushed away again. The Marauders doing a good job of pushing that back. Going to be seeing the extra Stalkers coming through. Charge on the way up now from Classic as well. Robo facility starting up on the front of the natural expansion, and well, just going to be seeing this refinery here from FanTaSy also getting set up and ready to roll. Here you go, Stalkers push forwards, looking for that bunker. They might get the bunker, but it's going to cost him a couple Stalkers, and in the end, he kind of decides to back away just before it went down. So bunker will hold on. I mean, Classic's already in one hell of a lead, though. He doesn't necessarily need to do more. It's just, why not do more at this point in time, as we're going to see those Stalkers continue to back away out from the right-hand side. How did FanTaSy open this game? What's up, Fear Dragon? Thank you so much for the Tier 2 resub for 32 months. FanTaSy opened with a 4 Cyclone SCV pull with some Marines. Just like that. And then he got turned away pretty quick. Thank you so much as well to my friend Kettle is God for the 2-month resub on that Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for resubscribing. Thanks for using your Twitch Prime on the stream. Let's keep those subs coming in, guys. We're about to have a big sub drop-off in the next few days, so any subs we get right now is just going to help me not be as depressed in the next few days when all the subs disappear. RIP. Press F for all those gifted subs that are about to expire. Don't forget, if you are currently a gifted subscriber, though, you can extend your subscription for 1 entire month for just $1. It's your last few days to take advantage of that, guys. Take advantage of the September deal. So if you're currently a gifted sub, do make sure you extend your subscription for just $1. You get all the benefits. It supports me just as much as any other sub. It's too cheap to come up with a reason not to, honestly. Couple of DTs on the way up right now, as we are going to be seeing this army of Classic just setting up at the frontier. Pylon sets up to the top side as well, and we are going to be seeing a little bit of an army from FanTaSy coming out into the center of the map. 24 hours of Marvel's going to hit 2.4k subs. I don't think so. I actually think the Marvel stream's not going to be that crazy at all. But we gotta do what we promised to do. I'm a man of my word. Every 100 subs is another hour. I wouldn't even be upset at that. DTs across the map. We mentioned them on the way up, and now they're really getting into play. 10 workers down already. Pushes FanTaSy into a very all-in position. As you are going to see those DTs just swiping away, reactors going down, and on the right-hand side, FanTaSy going to start pushing up this ramp. As you see Zealots and Stalkers, Sentries too, all ready to fight against this. You're going to see Guardian Shield popping up here, and here we go, pushing down. FanTaSy is going to be in a real kind of little bit of trouble right now. As you're just going to be seeing this army going to chase down FanTaSy's, and it looks like Classic has way too much. And yeah, I mean, well, what GG is FanTaSy? I guess kite for days, but realistically, there's not so much. I guess no blink though makes these Stalkers not as effective as you might usually expect them to be. A couple of Widow Mines coming around the top side. It's a very interesting way for the Widow Mines to go. Stalkers will end up just kind of walking out of the Widow Mine range. Now he's just picking off way too much. Now there's 3 or 4 Marauders left. Maybe with some really cute pickup micro here. FanTaSy can make something happen, but then the Medivacs start to be targeted. And obviously that's a whole issue all over again. As we are going to be seeing, oh my god, this is dead close. It's just the fact that these DTs and Zealots on the other side are doing so much. If it wasn't for this counterattack, maybe FanTaSy would have had enough reinforcements to make something happen. But that said, obviously, if that counterattack wasn't happening, there would have been more at home from Classic as well. GG's. And that is a victory for Classic and his team, of course, which is the Kim-Do Seong-Ho team. They take it 4-2 over team group assignment, and they move through to the winner bracket semi-finals in this double elimination team league by Crank. Again, I will say, and I'll stress this massively, that if you guys want to support this league in particular, then do make sure you check out Crank's stream. It's Crank that's supporting all of this, etc. So do check that out. Alright guys, coming up next is going to be 94 Fam versus Titan X1. So again, our first 3 matches are predetermined. The 4th match is a 2v2. The matches that are predetermined, the winner of them will stay alive for the all-kill stage. And in the 2v2, the winner of that gets a revive in the all-kill stage. So it's going to be TY versus Impact. That's our first matchup. Then Rogue versus Alive. And then TaeJa versus Bunny. And then the 2v2 comes into play. So it's TY versus Impact, Rogue versus Alive, and TaeJa versus Bunny. 2 TVZs and a TVP, then a 2v2, and then we get into the all-kills. And at that point, we don't know what's going to be happening. And if we told you what's going to be happening, it would be a bit of a spoiler, wouldn't it? So guys, that's what's coming up. That's what's happening. More of this Crank event coming up next. It's the Power Overwhelming Pro Team League. And it's going to be continuing with our second best of 7 of the night in 3 minutes.